Howdy, folks, and welcome back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The reaction. A trout in the milk? What kind of a title is that? Season 7, Episode 5. I'm very curious what that means. Trout in the milk. Is that another expression that I don't know about? Or is that literally a trout in a bowl of milk or something? I don't know. Sounds like a cat's delight, though. In the last episode, Sousa his death was staged to fit history, right? Because history says he died. But he's on the ship now with everybody else. On the Zephyr. One of the Chromicons, the leader, I guess, or the leader, not the leader, but the leader hunter, has stayed behind in 1955 to guide Malik to presumably have Hydra take over S.H.I.E.L.D. more quickly. I mean, our heroes have now landed in what appears to be sometime in the late 70s, I'm guessing, based on the music and when it came out. So are they going to emerge from the Zephyr and find that Hydra is openly in control? And that instead of S.H.I.E.L.D. logos, you see Hydra logos and so forth? That would be interesting. But other than that, I don't know what's going on. We're into a new decade. We've got like a 20-some-odd year jump every time. We're into the 70s. I fully expect 2 episodes here. And then I expect us to jump to probably around 2000-ish, I imagine. And then again, do 2020-ish, maybe, or something like that to end the series. But anyway, let's find out what's happening in the 1970s. Here we go. Oh, 70s spy music play. Oh, very cool. You know what this really reminds me of, this intro? Interestingly enough, the Avengers. Not the Marvel Avengers, but the one with Emma Peel, the British show from the 70s, or something like that. Anyway. Very cool 70s intro. Or maybe even, speaking of 70s, Starsky and Hutch, maybe? Streets of San Francisco. There you go.
Henry sowed a trout in the milk.
Yes, very much Streets of San Francisco. That's what this is. Saturday Night Fever.
That's good that you're learning to label and communicate them.
Yeah, and we learned that
very healthy.
Now that feelings
May is kind of an empath now. If you can't just sense the emotions, but you actually feel them, are you then a sympath? You know the difference between empathy and sympathy? Empathy is when you can recognize somebody's emotional state or feelings, but you can't really relate because you haven't experienced it yourself. Or maybe you can relate to it, but you've never experienced it. And sympathy, you've experienced it. So instead of an empath, is she a sympath? Okay, I'll use the word sympath. I don't know if it's a real word, but I like it.
It's a miracle.
It looks pretty much like he always dresses.
I just don't understand.
Starting now. I can't believe things now.
So wait a minute, it just dawned on me, they're in New York. So they're going to hook up with Enoch again, right? Here's hoping.
Okay.
Are we going to find out more about Simmons? How long she was gone? What happened to her?
Whatever you want to call him.
Oh, Fitz, no, I haven't heard.
Wait a minute.
But
What was that? She knows his nickname for Fitz. Why did she not have any clue what it was? Is this really even Simmons? Did they replace Simmons?
even if I had, I couldn't just...
What is going on? Oh boy. Is she a Chronicom? I don't think she's an LMD, right? What's going on? Yeah, it's a S.H.I.E.L.D. logo. That's a good sign. Is she intentionally bumping into people to get the emotions, or is she just a little tipsy and bumping into them?
you might have discovered a new form of contact high.
Ah,
Zero, 3 sheets to the wind.
I thought she said Malik died.
I start working in this.
Oh, it's a Chronocom. He did have a funeral to fake his death, and the Chronocom's taken over his face? Is that what's happened?
Ginger.
Yep. They are ahead of schedule. That is what the Chronocom did. Whether he accelerated the schedule and that really is Malik, or he took over Malik. Either way, the schedule's been accelerated.
Bicentennial. It will also be a new birth for freedom.
So they're not in the late 70s, they're in the early 70s. Okay. So is the lighthouse now home of Project Insight?
Let's take the Quinjet.
Is that what's going on?
What are you worried?
They're building a rocket, so this is Insight. I guess.
Windowless office.
We have no time to speculate.
Speculate. This is more than just a trout in the milk. There's only one way Hydra could have gotten.
Nobody gets the expression. Love the lava lamp.
You should have taken our offer when you had the chance.
Okay, so he is in the Chronocom.
Surrender now and we'll go easy.
He's really Malik. Enoch? Enoch? Enoch!
If you want to continue to exist.
Come with me if you want to live.
You can override it.
I'm trying, but something's messed with the algorithm.
Maybe they won't be doing 2 episodes in the 70s.
Chronocoms have changed plans. They're jumping out.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Oh, just a few years. When they said they were gonna unveil it.
Happy to,
You can't control it.
Well, who does?
Yeah, who does? Is it really them?
Enoch,
What's going on?
where have you been?
Come with me.
Yeah, there's Chronocom technology involved here. It may not be a Chronocom, but there's technology.
Just jump.
Agent Seuss.
In fact, you taught us a lesson about human behavior that day.
Did I?
You were
He's
handed
gonna
victory
take his
and
face
power
now.
to
He's gonna become a
eradicate
Chronocom.
thousands of your foes, yet
Malik's
you
dead.
would have thrown it away.
I had no.
The Chronocom has a hand behind his back, like he's got a weapon, but so does Malik. I wonder if Malik's gonna draw first.
Choice.
Predictor has seen that S.H.I.E.L.D. will find you
Oh,
here.
well, okay. Chronocom doesn't have a weapon; just has a piece of paper.
You will have leverage.
I was wrong.
How is our firewall already?
Oh, Chronocom messing up again, messing things in the timeline.
Seems things.
Panel?
Somebody's gonna come along now. Yep, it's the younger Malik.
So happy you came back into my life.
Looks like an early version of an icer gun, huh?
At the second checkpoint. Daisy, can you get us in?
Uh-oh.
Daisy.
Coulson is a bot. He should be able to bash open the door, right? The security gate?
New plan.
Oh.
Hey, getting through to him.
He felt otherwise.
Yeah. Has its uses. Yeah, I like how they've chosen a Titan 3 rocket. I talked about that in the trailer. The Titan 3s. This is a Titan 3, in case you didn't know. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I could look it up and try to figure it out. But the configuration of the 2 solid rocket boosters and the center booster, center engine, center rocket, is Titan 3. And they were in service during this time. So, good work on their part. 1976 was right in the middle of the Titan 3 life. Shag rug in his van.
Even if you figure out what's going on, there's nothing you got.
They see that coming?
Whoa! I thought he was holding an icer. Oh boy, he did what Daisy said, but of course he did it long after the guy was supposed to be dead anyway, so in a sense he isn't screwing anything up.
What'd you just do? He's supposed to be.
Oh no, they did see that coming. His parents, yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. They knew he'd be the one making the call. Mac.
Abort.
Come on. You're the one who keeps telling everybody don't let their personal feelings get involved.
I'm saying arm the damn missiles.
Okay, now he's going to shoot it down. Okay. Why didn't they do that all to begin with? I know he said they wanted to preserve the timeline of having the shield, the base be empty, the lighthouse be empty, and maybe that's why they chose this method. But the overt method of shooting it down should have always been kind of a contingency, if not the primary. So the Chronocom should have seen that one coming too,
Missiles detonate.
if that was insight.
But we just gave up our position.
Whitehall. Daniel. Cell block.
Whitehall. Wow.
No, I don't want us to work.
You gonna try to steal Daisy's powers? Uh-oh. Okay. For a moment I thought that they were gonna totally turn it on its side and not leave us in 1973, as it turns out, for 2 episodes, because they were gonna jump, but they still jumped into 76, so 3 years later, so still in the 70s. So I guess that rule applies. So from 76, if they do, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. They jumped 3 years this time, so it just because the other one was 24 years, and then less than 20 years, right? 18 years to get to 73. I guess there is no real consistency, other than it's a couple of decades. They tend to skip a decade, right? They skip the 40s, they skip the 60s. So possibly they'll skip the 80s and go into the 90s next? I don't know. But anyway, that said, Sousa's, the last thing he said before he got knocked out was really that this is his final stop. I think what he was trying to say was he's not going into the future anymore because he's feeling more and more disconnected from his time, his past, his life, which I can understand as an initial reaction. I just don't think that that's a rational thing for him to do, and he'll probably change his mind if he's given the chance. I still have a hunch. Trying to bring my finger in the frame. Still have a hunch that he's going to die. That he will probably die in this episode, not this episode, in the next episode, is my guess. And then he'll kind of almost been a prophet in saying that this is my final stop, and it wasn't because he was not going to go forward by choice and stay behind. It was that he was going to die. It's still what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's going to be the case, but that's what I'm thinking. So it looks like the younger Malik wants to try to steal Daisy's powers using Whitehall's technology or technique, which is something that I think we saw earlier on. They were messing with powers and things too. So interesting. That Shagmobile he's got them in is also interesting. So Gemma, what's going on with Simmons? Got that thing in her neck. It's Chronocom technology, perhaps, but without him there to either, I don't know, adjust her, maintain her, whatever's going on, she tends to kind of malfunction a little bit, forgets things. Does that mean she died at some point and the Chronocom technology is keeping her alive? Does that mean she's not really Gemma? Does that mean what? What does that mean? Doesn't mean something weird is happening and she's losing some memories. Because obviously she didn't even remember Deke's relationship to her, it seemed. She definitely didn't remember the nicknames. But she almost seemed surprised that he was her grandson. Did I get that right? I got that right. Okay. And then, of course, poor Mac. Chronocoms knew that Mac would be the one, because Mac is always director decision, that he'd be the one to make the decision to try to stop the launch. So they put his parents in there. Now, did they do that knowing that he would then try to shoot the missile down and then expose his location? Because that's what he said, now they know our location. Why did they know their location? They were still shielded. They were still cloaked. Weren't they when they fired the missile? Let's go back and look real fast. I think they were still cloaked when they fired the missile. Let's go way back through the commercials here. I ain't watching on Hulu DVR, so I get all the commercials and everything. Let's look at the missile launch. Okay. Locked. He fires. Oh. No, they're still pretty much cloaked. So just because the missile was fired from where they were, if they're still cloaked, their location is again concealed. I don't know what he means by the location's given away. Now all they just have to do is fly somewhere else and land, and they shouldn't be able to track them. But anyway, I am also maybe thinking that wasn't really Insight. That maybe Insight was multiple launches, because just like they had like 3 helicarriers in the other version, maybe they had multiple satellite launches, because one isn't going to do the trick anyway, right? One satellite, that wouldn't be enough. There's probably multiple launches. So they probably didn't really stop it, I'm guessing. Which means they'll have to continue to fight to stop them again, which is why they're going to stay in here for another episode and then go somewhere else. Did I forget anything? I don't know. Hydra did change the timeline, did advance things considerably. They didn't overtly take over as Hydra. They left it as S.H.I.E.L.D., but they advanced all sorts of timelines. So how are they going to undo all this? Or are they going to undo all this? Are they just basically going to patch it up and then come back to a future, their present, that's just radically different? We already had it separate from the MCU, so is it going to be separated even more? But it doesn't matter, of course. This is the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so wherever they leave it can be anything they want it to be. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think, what I missed, because I'm sure I missed something. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.